My name is Stacy Stanton, and my final presentation for Info 244 will be an introduction to Academic Search Complete. I will provide an overview of the database's features as well as some search tools you can use to execute a search query. Once we've executed our search query, I will discuss some strategies to refine your search. For the purpose of this presentation, I will be using the search question, what are the searching behaviors of college students? Therefore, the two concepts I will be searching are searching behaviors and college students. Once you navigate to King Library's website, you will click on the Articles and Databases link. And from there, you will see an alphabetical list of the databases, and we will click on Academic Search Complete. You may need to log in with your ID and password, but once you have done so, you will see this main page of the database. And I want to first point out that there is actually a help section here. We'll go ahead and click on that. And what this is, it has a lot of searchable topics that you can either browse or search in the search box, and there is also a tutorial available as well. So I do suggest you take advantage of that anytime you can, especially when you're not familiar with a database. The next feature I would like to point out are subject terms. And what you can do here is you can actually browse for search terms. So we'll go ahead and use searching behavior, for example. We'll browse and see what options we get when we click on this search term. And you will be provided with sometimes broader terms or narrower terms that you may decide to include by exploding. And we could actually also do the same for our other term, which is college students, and see if we have any other options we'd like to use there. For this one, it actually breaks it down into a lot more narrow terms, sometimes demographic and also level of education. So again, a nice feature to be aware of. The other thing I want to point out with some databases that are an aggregator database, you can specify if you want to narrow it down to a few rather than all. This can be really helpful depending on what kind of search you're executing. So I'm going to go ahead and search in ERIC and Teacher Reference Center, in Psych Info, and Library Science, Library and Information Science. I feel like this would be a good comparison, or just gives me hopefully enough of a variety for my search, and I'm going to click OK. So now we're back to our main page. You can always select a field to search within if you would like. We'll go ahead and type in our terms, and I do prefer to separate them, although you can combine them with Boolean operators, which, if you're not familiar, are and, or, and not. The database actually includes these, so that's my next point. So if we select and, we are going to have the database search for any results that include both, which would narrow your search. If we would choose or, this would actually broaden the search because you'll find results that may just have searching behavior or may just have college students, and they may have both. Not would actually negate college students, and we wouldn't have any results for college students, and that's not the point or the purpose of this search query. So we will not be using that. We will stick with and. And then there are also some other options if you scroll down, including full text, scholarly peer-reviewed journals. I do actually really prefer to use those sources. Then we're also going to narrow our date, which often you are limited to within, say, the last 5 to 10 years, depending on the assignment. So just keep in mind that you often want to refine your date or limit your date. And there are a lot more options that I can't go through, but just something you should definitely explore. Language can be helpful, or type of publication or document. So there are some really good features in this database. So we've talked about the search fields, the Boolean operators, some of the features that are built into the database. The last thing I want to discuss before we execute a search query will be the other tools that you can use in addition to what the database offers. The first one will be using parentheses to include your search concept. What this will do, it will just basically let the database know to search for this exact order of words rather than find results that have each of these terms spread out. So maybe students in college, but they don't necessarily relate to each other. So it's really about if you're wanting a specific order of words in a specific phrase, and sometimes that can be very helpful. So just keep that in mind to use if you ever want to make sure you don't want to include too many results. And then the other option would be truncation. Truncation means you can find a variation in a term simply by placing an asterisk anywhere in the term. So I think it could be beneficial to use the asterisk in searching. And what this would do is it could bring up search, searching, searcher, things like that. So we're going to go ahead and use the asterisk tool as well in our search, and we will see how our results fare. So we are ready to search. And we have 85 results, which is pretty decent. You don't want to have too many and you don't want to have too few to choose from. So the next strategy I would recommend is to find a fairly relevant result and click on it to examine the indexing, which means you can search or you can, I guess, review the different subjects that are in this particular article. And it's interesting that this also includes information retrieval and information seeking behavior. So another option that we could possibly do to refine our search is we could include this term as well, information retrieval, if you feel it's also relevant to your search query. I would suggest using OR to broaden so that you could find both and not eliminate some of the other results that we've already come up with. Using AND would be very specific, so you could also try that and see if that works. The last feature I want to point out in the database is this is not actually full text, but if we would click on the Find It option there, it is going to bring up the link to the full text. So once you have clicked on the full text, you can certainly print or read the article. You can also review the references that are cited, and you can possibly use some of those references in your searching. This is known as reverse citation searching or backward chaining. So again, that's another great option that you can use once you've found a result that seems to be what you're looking for. So that is a brief introduction to the Academic Search Complete database. I hope you found the information in this presentation helpful, and just wanted to let you know that most of the tools and strategies that were discussed today are transferable to other databases. Thank you for watching.